And it was one of those where I'd actually made my last cast, and I turned around to Barry and I said, listen, I think it's time to go. I think we better go. I was using a Selmo slider, which is an incredible lure because you can use it as a stick bait and fish it incredibly slow, or you can just wind the thing fast, and it's got the most incredible action. And because we were actually in a little bit of a hurry to go and try and make this treacherous exit from Submarine Rock, I was just winding the lure in fast, and needed to say, this thing got absolutely smashed. Here's a critter. I'm worried about where it's going. No way! That was unbelievable. I'm fighting this fish, and the critter just jumped right out of the air. Unbelievable. No way! I'd had only about 20 meters of line left, and this fish ate this lure and just took off like an absolute rocket. And now I wasn't actually sure, because it took about 150 meters on its first run. I wasn't sure if it was a kuta or what the hell it was. But needless to say, this thing was, and I knew it was a big fish, and I knew I had to make it count.
When I say slack, don't force it, but don't give it any slack. Like that. The rod must be bent all the time, because you'll shake your hook out so quickly. Set it on the surface.
It's always amazing to have somebody with Barry's knowledge and experience when you're fighting a fish like that, because as it started to get closer, that Submarine Rock is quite a treacherous area. It's got a lot of ledges, and you could easily lose a fish then.
It must be a bus critter. It's lovely, it's walking around, it's coming back. Ah, this is it. Ah, this job is done now. He's arcing now, he's coming back.
But needless to say, only when the fish came a little bit closer and broke surface did we see this GT. It was, a fish of that size. I'm not sure what the weight was, but Barry estimated it to be probably around 30 kilos.
It's a GT. Oh, class 2. Just stay on top of it.
We could see why it had fought so strangely, because it was actually foul hooked in the bottom of his jaw. Very nicely hooked, but foul hooked nonetheless. And in the end, I've got a funny little tattoo on my arm. Well, it's not a funny tattoo, it's quite a serious tattoo. It says everything happens for a reason. And in this particular occasion, everything did happen for a reason. We'd waited a long time to get a big fish like that off Submarine Rock, and I was fortunate enough to be the person that ended up getting that fish, and I'll be forever thankful for that. And that most certainly, that's not the biggest GT I've caught in my life, but that probably goes straight to number 1 on my GT list, even though it wasn't the biggest, because just to catch it in that particular place is an absolute memory of a lifetime that I'm never ever going to forget. It was absolutely mind-blowing. I still just get a little wry smile on my face now when I think about it.
Good one, Johnny.
Oh man, We'd been waiting for a big fish, and Barry had been catching all the bonnies, and I was just persevered a little bit with my big lure, and just at the last minute there I got it on. But I tell you what, that GT, that fight with Bangkok rules, boy, and with this rock and everything, yeah, I think we were lucky. I was lucky to get him out, but I'm buggered now. I had to put a lot of pressure on him, but now we got to try and get off this place in the dark. That's going to be a interesting story in itself.
Cherry on the top was Richard's GT, which just was amazing. I mean, that was, I wouldn't mind betting that that's the best fish that's ever been landed off that rod. And certainly on that new shore game Assassin, I mean, it was an amazing fish, kind of fish that you want to hook on that sort of rig. So yeah, that was an amazing evening, absolutely unbelievable.